Hi. This lesson is the first lesson of Unit 1 in Mega Goal 1. The lessons here are going to be active and student-centered, and this lesson can also be used remotely. Now, this lesson is for the teacher. It contains the teacher development, the teacher explanation. We can make the PowerPoint without the audio available very, very soon, or just contact me and I can send it to you. So let's start. The first question that we always need to ask ourselves is, what are we going to learn and be able to do in this lesson? So this lesson is going to focus mainly on reading. And in this lesson, we can see printed sentences made up of 4 to 6 details and tell if the sentence is an opinion, a fact, a cause and effect, comparison, contrast, and all of them. But we always use the same we just change the content. So the content of today's lesson is sentences that we can tell are most important event, cause, effect, and fact. So another thing that we need to remind you is that there should always be an opening with the 4 principles. Now, if you want to see those principles up close and in details, go to the YouTube and go to the first lessons of the grammar on reported speech, where they are explained in detail. They're also explained in a separate video for tasks to kickstart the lesson. So here we will put 6 sentences up on the screen like this, and we're going to tell the students to listen to each sentence and write its number in the order you hear them. So this is what the students will see. Why do we do this? Well, I'll just briefly go over the 4 principles again. Number 1, when the English teacher walks into the classroom, the children are speaking in their native language, Arabic. So we need to do something that is called code switching, or making the mind switch to English as quickly as possible. The second reason, or the second principle, is that if they do this, they will seem to think or have an orientation in which direction this lesson is going to be going. The third would be heightened attention. And the most important, number 4, is that everybody in the classroom can do it, because in the first task, we should not leave anybody out. We should not only focus on the students who know English and are able to answer. So this is what the students will see. And this is what, excuse me, you, the teacher, have on a separate piece of paper. You do not show this to the students, you just show it to them as a feedback. So you as a teacher are going to say, the kingdom, without saying the numbers, the kingdom of Saudi Arabia was officially established in 1932. The students are going to look for it, this one, and they will write on their paper 2. Then you will say, King Abdul Aziz regained Riyadh in 1902. The students will be looking at the screen and they will find it as number 3. They will write 3 and so forth. What is the purpose of this? As we said before, they don't have, or they are unable to think in Arabic because they have to listen in English, look at the sentences in English, and write the numbers in English. That will speed up the code switching. So this is for you, the teacher, and this is what the student will see. This is what you read them slowly, give some time for them to scan for the answers and write the numbers. So they will write the numbers on a piece of paper, and then don't ask them to raise their hands and say which numbers. That beats the whole point. What will happen if some of the students get it wrong? Nothing. This is not a test. This is the first task to get them to start thinking in English, know the direction they're going, and heighten their attention. Now, opening task. We're still with the opening task here. When we read, King Abdul Aziz was a gifted leader, and King Abdul Aziz initiated the building of infrastructure. this is what our mind will do. Oh, this is an opinion. Oh, this is a fact. So which of these two sentences is what people think, and which one is a fact, which means this is a record and it is documented and we can check it? And the answers are, okay. The second thing that we're going to read is King Abdul Aziz initiated the building of infrastructure. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was officially established in 1932. Which sentence was something that happened? Which sentence was a result of something that happened? We call that cause and effect. So once more time, when we read something, our minds convert the whole sentence into a thought that is an opinion, a fact, a cause, an effect. And let's look at the last one. King Abdulaziz initiated the building of infrastructure. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was officially established in 1932. King Abdulaziz regained Riyadh and established his headquarters in the city. Which of these three sentences is the most important event? So this is how we think. So we're going to go back now and check our answers, all right? Okay, so let's start with the first one. And we're going to say, King Abdul Aziz was a gifted leader. Okay, this is a matter of an opinion. This is what you think, this is what you feel, this is what you believe. Now, we can change that into a fact and say, most people believe that King Abdul Aziz was a great leader. Then that becomes a fact that somebody said. But King Abdul Aziz was a gifted leader is a sentence that is an opinion. An opinion does not mean right or wrong. It means it's an opinion. So we're going to put opinion here. And King Abdulaziz initiated the building of infrastructure. That is a fact. So what are we going to be reading? Facts, opinions, and other things. Now we come to the next one. The next one is King Abdulaziz initiated the building of infrastructure. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was officially established in 1932. Which happened, or which was something that happened that made something else happen? Well, when Saudi Arabia officially became Saudi Arabia, it caused King Abdulaziz to initiate the infrastructure. So King Abdulaziz initiated the building of infrastructure after he made the country the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 1932. So when the country became the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 1932, that caused King Abdulaziz to say, okay, now let's start building the infrastructure, which is the roads, the buildings, the power system, everything. The last one is, which of the three sentences is the most important event? When we say the most important event, remember, it's not your feeling. It is the most important event that started all the other events. So, King Abdulaziz initiated the building of infrastructure. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was officially established in 1932. King Abdulaziz regained Riyadh and established his headquarters in the city. Which one is the one that started everything? It is this one. This is the most important event. Important event, why? Because if he hadn't done this, then he would not have built the country and started the building of the infrastructure. So this is the most important event. This is the opening task, and this is the sum up. In summing up, here is what we will have. In sum up, we will say what people think is the opinion. This is a fact. The fact is that something is written in such a way that it can be checked. This is what happened is a cause. This is what happened as a result is the effect. And the most important event is the key idea. Got it? All right. So let's start learning. The first step in learning is, how does a simple sentence work in English? Let's learn that. The basic structure of a simple sentence in English is made up of 6 parts. The first part is always the who or the what. The next part is always the action or the verb. The third part is the who or the what. The fourth, fifth, and sixth are the how, the where, and the when. Not all sentences have all 6 parts, but all sentences must have an action. So let's have a look at some of the sentences that we read before. King Abdulaziz, is that a what or a who? Who, very good. What did he do? What's the action? United, okay. So King Abdulaziz united all the tribes. Is that a what or a who? All the tribes. Tribes are people. All the tribes. So he united who? All the tribes. Where? In the country. So notice that this sentence, simple sentence, has 4 parts. King Abdulaziz united all the tribes in the country. Your mind is going who, action, who, where. Let's try another one. Arabic, is that a who or a what? Arabic is a language, so it's a what. Is the verb. The official language of Saudi Arabia is the what. So your mind is going Arabic, what, is, verb, what, the official language of Saudi Arabia. That's how you read and you listen and you make meaning. Now, here is your turn to do the same thing. You have 3 sentences here. Your job is to write the details of the 3 sentences in the sentence organizer. So number 1, what's the who, what? What's the action or the verb? What's the who, what, the how, the where, and the when for each of the 3 sentences. Now, give the students some time to do it. And once the students are doing it, you are going around making sure that they are working, helping those that need help. So you will give them some minutes to try to do this. The most important part here is that they really need to copy the details into the different parts of the sentence organizer. When they finish, what you do is you give them feedback to check their answers. Again, get everybody to check their answers first, and you might ask a few, to give the answers as demonstration to keep them engaged or active. And you can see here that the Federation of the United Arab Emirates consists of 7 sheikdoms. The Federation of the United Arab Emirates consists of 7 sheikdoms. Number 2, the Russians launched the world's first artificial satellite Sputnik 1 on October 4, 1957. And the third one, the first communication satellite, was launched from Cape Canaveral on July 10, 1962. So the students in the first lesson are learning how to find the details. But once you learn how to find the details, then you need to be able to find the simple sentence in a complex sentence and in a paragraph. So this is taken from the book. The Federation of the United Arab Emirates, known as the UAE, consists of 7 sheikdoms: Abu Dhabi, Ajman, Dubai, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, Sharjah, and Al Quwain. How do we find the simple sentence in a complex sentence? First, we find the what or who at the beginning of the sentence, like this. What or who? The Federation of the United Arab Emirates. Good. The second step is to find the main action or the main verb of the sentence. The third part is to look for the last what or where or when, and that's the third part. Find the who, what, how, where, when that follow. These are the 7 sheikdoms. So what are we doing? 7 sheikdoms is the what, not the who, so that we know that. The rest, what do? We remove all the unnecessary parts. like this. And what do we get? We get the simple sentence. The Federation of the United Arab Emirates consists of 7 sheikdoms. Now, let the students work alone. We gave them 3 sentences and we asked them to look at the complex sentence and rewrite the simple sentence part. Give them some time to go to do it by themselves, okay? Once they are doing it by themselves, you go around, you check their work, you make sure that they know what to do and they are doing it correctly, and you help the people that need help. After that, as usual, you give them the answers for them to check their answers. Now notice what we have added here is that you underline the parts and you label them to say which part is the who, which part is the verb, etc. So far so good? Great. Now let's go to the next learning task. Find the event that made another event happen. What do you think this is going to be? Well, something happened, right? Good. Because something happened, there is a result of what happened. Example, smartphones were invented. Good, that something happened. As a result, we can read, listen, watch, search, and speak using only one device. So we call this the cause, and this was the effect. Does it make sense? All right. Now, again, we give the students some work to do. Notice that this design of the lesson plan is called incremental learning, which means that we do not wait for them to reach the end of the lesson and we spend the first 20 to 30 minutes talking and doing things. What we do is that after we learn something, we work on it immediately to make sure that the students got it. Because if we went too far into the lesson, 10, 15, 20 minutes into the lesson, and some people still do not get it, they're going to be left behind. And asking the students, do you understand? You're only going to get yes from the few that do, and another few are going to say yes because they don't want to draw any attention to themselves. So this helps you, the teacher, know how they are progressing, and it also helps the student know what the problem is. Now, you give them the answers, and we move on to the reading task. Now we're going to ask them, read the other 3 passages because we worked on the first passage with King Abdul Aziz. Read each of the 3 passages on page 6 alone, find and mark. So we want them to find the sentences that are a cause, the sentences that are effects, and the sentences that are the most important event in each of the 3, and to mark them. This is what we want them to do. So this is a task that they will be doing alone. After they finish, what you want them to do is to interact with each other, to sit in pairs, and they will show each other what they mark. One will then say, this sentence is a cause, and the other student will say, I agree, or I disagree, I don't think so. So this helps the student get feedback from each other, and this is part of the learning process. This uses the language immediately, rather than just answering to the teacher. This is the item that you would put on the screen, and you will ask the students to do it. Or if they don't have the books. But if they have the books, they can do it straight from the book. So this brings us to the end. And the most important part of every lesson is the ending part, the assessment part. So what do we want the students to be able to do at the end? I mean, you can do underline the who, what, when, where, but that's part of the learning process. This is grade 10. If the students are still doing that, we will not move forward. The most important part or learning here is to find fact, cause, effect, opinion. And this lesson, we focused mostly on cause, effect, and most important event. So if you want to repeat this in a test, you repeat it exactly as it is. You bring a new paragraph, that's all. And you say underline, and right above each sentence if it is a cause, effect, or most important event. You give them time to do it. They can do it as an assignment, but it's much better if you do it in the classroom. And this is if you want them to check their answer. So what is the most important event that started all the other events? Anne Rogers opened the first of her famous shops, the Health Shop, in 1995. And I underlined in different colors here. I didn't underline the whole sentence, but for you to see where it is. So if something was good for the body and good for the environment, that was the effect. And that was caused because she asked the companies to use only natural materials, not chemicals. So using only natural materials, not chemicals, caused this effect. Good for the body, good for the environment. The next to cause and effect, okay, the cause is she wanted to cut down on the number of bottles thrown away after using her products. So she wanted to protect the environment. Because she wanted to protect the environment, what was the result? She encouraged people to take the empty bottles back to the shop for recycling. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel in order for you to get more of what we, of the lessons on Mega Goal as we put them up. You can reach me at any of the following. I can be reached by email, by WhatsApp, you can join me on Twitter or LinkedIn. Thank you very much, and see you soon with the next lesson.